5, 4, 3.
Peace, everybody. Confessions. Peace, everybody. Confessions. Peace, everybody. Confessions. You are listening to Confessions with Brian T. Bethea on 102 Jam. What's good, family? Once again, welcome back to another episode of Confessions with Brian T. Bethea on WJHM102jams.com. Listen, family, we got a dope topic to kind of talk about. Listen, if you can, grab all your friends, grab your family members, especially if you got people from other races or what have you, so we can talk about what's going on with white privilege and everything that's going on in the media right now. And so, yeah, we're going to talk about white privilege. It should be a dope, it should be an interesting discussion. And we definitely need to talk about this or what have you, you know what I'm saying? So we will be right back after these messages on 102 Jams. Peace, y'all.
Hey guys, this is TC1, and when I stay in Orlando, I like to stay at the Quality Suites over on International Drive. They are amazing properties, simple rooms in an all-suite hotel with outdoor pool, a restaurant, plus free Wi-Fi and a shuttle. Guys, give them a call at 407-363-0332. They're located at 7400 Canada Ave, Orlando, Florida, 32819.
All you dolls out there, this is me, Sizzle. 2019 flew by and my friend still did not have the body she wanted. Then I discovered the solution. The cosmetic surgery place. Yes, cosmetic surgery. Don't spend another minute miserable. Call 407-636-5000. She did. Now my friend is all of that and then some.
Be one of the next 7 callers to receive your breast surgery free with a tummy tuck. Yes, free. Call now at 407-636-5000.
This is Aretha Simons. When I'm driving, I'm listening to Confessions with Brian T. Bethea on 102 Jams.
Are you frustrated with your computer? Tired of waiting for the computer to let you get your work done? Having an IT professional available when you need him can be invaluable to your business. With a Your Computer Solutions monthly service plan, you can enjoy error-free computing and get your tasks done when you want them done. Got a virus or malware warning? Call YCS and let them remotely solve the issue for you. Computer running slow? Give YCS a call and they will remotely fix it. When? Well, right away. On average, our clients are back up and running within 10 minutes of their call. If you want your computer to run smoothly month after month, just get the Your Computer Solutions monthly service plan. Your Computer Solutions is there when you need them. Call us today at 407-826-0810. I repeat, 407-826-0810. Emergency repair when you need it. Call us, 407-826-0810.
All right, family, once again, welcome back to another episode of Confessions with Brian T. Bethea on WJHM102jams.com. Listen, family, thank y'all for tuning in always. And please don't forget to download the Android app, WJHM102jams.com, on your Android device, whether it be a tablet, telephone, what have you. We are still working on being able for it to be downloaded on Apple. So all my iPhone users, listen, family, this is the one time us Android people get to be bougie and be like, excuse me, you have to wait until it is your time. So definitely be mindful of that right now. But anyway, we got a topic. Topic is called white privilege. And I know this has been a very, very hot topic because, there is a difference between like white privilege and racism, so to speak. And, I know people talk about, well, what's the difference? Or, they don't, or some people don't even believe in white privilege or what have you. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was Rush Limbaugh, and was on the Breakfast Club a few months back, and he said that he didn't believe that white privilege existed, and of course, Charlemagne and DJ Envy disagreed with him or what have you. But let's go ahead and get into it, man. White privilege, so to speak, is different from racism. There is a difference. So we should define it like, let's define racism first, okay? Because I understand, as I'm looking on the website right here, looking on tolerance.org is where I'm getting my information from right now. And it says here, one helpful definition comes from Matthew Clare and Jeffrey S. Dennis's Sociology on Racism, which they define racism as individual and group level processes and structures that are implicated in the reproduction of racial inequality. Systemic racism happens when these structures or processes are carried out by groups with power, such as governments, businesses, or schools. Racism differs from bias, which is a conscious or unconscious prejudice against an individual or group based on their identity. So going back to that same interview with Rush Limbaugh on the Breakfast Club, he didn't believe in systemic racism, if I'm not mistaken, but he definitely didn't believe in white privilege, which I thought is an interesting discussion, because we do need to have these discussions, family, not arguments. We need to have these discussions about stuff like this. White privilege, perhaps, and I just had this discussion a little while ago in regards to white privilege. Now, let's say white privilege is something like this, so to speak. You have two people. You take a black person. Let's say you take a brother, a black man, driving down the street in a Maybach or what have you, and you have the same white person driving down the street in a Maybach, or maybe a Porsche or something like that, and the police happen to, follow them or what have you. Let's say let's say the same cop stops them, or not stops them. Let's say the same cop, for whatever reason, decides to pull over one of them. Now, the way that we have been taught is that 9 times out of 10, regardless of what the occupation of either driver may be, that cop is probably going to pull over the black person driving the Maybach rather than the white person driving the other car or what have you. Something like, and just not based on anything that the cop heard or anything like that or what have you. He or she just simply saw a black person in a particular neighborhood or just driving a nice car. And there have been issues of that, whereas someone white at sometimes, or for the most part, may not have had to experience something like that. I'm not saying that white folks don't get pulled over for driving a nice car or what have you, because I'm pretty sure that might happen as well. But at the same rate, it doesn't happen at the same rate that I'm aware of to anyone else other than black and Latinos. I will say this like this, and I probably wish I had him on here to discuss this. I have a friend of mine, another poet by the name of Eddie Figures. Eddie has a poem where there's a line in the poem where he said something, I can't remember the line as, so please forgive me if you hear this. He says something in regards where he got pulled over as a Hispanic male driving the stereotypical Honda Civic or what have you. And he'll tell you the story all the time. He would literally get pulled over all the time. He then bought a American brand car. I think it was what was that? I think it was not the Saturn. I think it was Intrepid or something like that, or whatever other car he bought, and he got left alone. So now that begs the question: does that mean, and I know that because I've had these discussions with with some of my white friends or what have you. Does that does that mean that every time that a cop pulls someone over who's Hispanic, or what have you, does that mean that they're always driving the same stereotypical cars or what have you, the Honda Civics, or the maybe a Honda Accord or what have you, or the certain type of Nissans or Toyotas or what have you, do they get pulled over because of that? However, on the flip side, let me make sure, I had to study real quick, make sure I got my words correct. I've had friends before who have nice cars. They've had great jobs. These friends and family members of mine are black or what have you. They get pulled over or what have you, and you know, cops. You can tell just by the demeanor sometimes, and we've all been there. Not we've all been there, but you know, a lot of us have been there, folks. If you're black, if you're Latino, I've been there. You know what I'm saying? You're driving home late at night, you get pulled over by police. You know, where you going? Where you coming from? You know, or where you from? You know what I'm saying? Or those questions. We get asked that questions all the time. I've been asked that question all the time. Those questions all the time, especially primarily when you know nothing was really warranted for me to be pulled over in the first place. Now, sometimes when you know where I may have been speeding, yeah, I got pulled over for that. I knew I was in the wrong, what have you. You know, but on the other hand, it's like I'm really in the back of my mind, like, why am I being pulled over? You know, would I be been pulled over, you know, if I was white? You know, or let's say like you have a poor neighborhood, let's say like a trailer park or what have you. Not saying, oh, you know, let's say that you get pulled over in a trailer park. Let's say that. You know, nothing to do white folks who live in trailer parks because they get pulled over as much as brothers and sisters in the ghetto, or rather brothers and sisters in general. You know, so we have to really look at stuff, you know, and have this particular conversation, so to speak, because this is an interesting topic. You know, definitely. We look at white privilege all the time. Now, one example of what we would call white privilege, okay, let's bring this up. All right, when those celebrities out there in California, like Lori Loughlin, got in trouble for, you know, for basically choosing or bribing their way or helping their kids to get into the school in a manner which should not have been. Let's say it like that. They broke the law, so to speak. My understanding, I've often wondered if they were black, would they have been sentenced to something? But we all know it. Yeah, we already know the answer to that question. Yeah, if Oprah probably did it. I don't know about Oprah. You know what I'm saying? Because Oprah probably got enough money to buy about 3 countries, so it seems. But let's say like, you know, let's say like if Jamie Foxx had done that, or if somebody, or if Will Smith had done that for their kids, would they have gotten a jail sentence for that in that regard? Not to mention, Lori Loughlin, for whatever reason, she got to choose. From what I read in the paper online, she got to choose the prison of her choice to go to, you know, in that regard, to do her sentence, because I guess it was closer to home, and she only had to do like a couple of months, you know, what have you. And I know when I read that, I was like, I couldn't believe it, you know, I couldn't believe it. Now, had that happened for you know, you know, a person of color, I don't think so. I don't think even if you was, you know, the best black celebrity or the most famous black celebrity there is, I don't think they would have been that lucky. You know, you look at Wesley Snipes got in trouble for, you know, apparently, and I say apparently because he explained how the situation with his taxes happened, and unfortunately, it looks like based on what he stated was that he got caught up in a manner in which, you know, the people that were taking care of his money didn't take care of it properly, and you know, unfortunately, at the end of the day, he ended up taking the punishment, but he had to go to jail for tax evasion. You know what I'm saying? Now, you know, is there a way you could have gotten around that? You know, who knows? But could it have been based on the color of the skin? Possibly. You know, definitely. As a matter of fact, there's a judge. I can't remember the guy's name. You can Google it though. There was a judge in Pennsylvania a couple of years ago. Got in trouble. He got sentenced to 28 years because he was found guilty of sending young black kids to jail. And because jail is a lot of the prison system is a for-profit organization, or what have you. And at the end of the day, he got caught and got sentenced to 28 years in jail for sending basically black kids to jail, and knowingly in that regard that a lot of these kids didn't do the crime that they were accused of doing. For instance, Khalif Browder. You know, if you're not familiar with the Khalif Browder story, it's I believe it's on. There's a documentary on Netflix right now in regards to his situation. And well, anyway, if you don't know about his story, I'm gonna summarize it for you. The young brother, when he was in high school age, you know, he got accused of stealing a backpack or what have you. He was arrested for it, and come to find out he didn't do it. But instead of taking a plea bargain, what he ended up doing was, you know, staying in jail at Rikers, waiting for his court date. Now his court date kept getting pushed back. Now at being that was the case, not only was the court date pushed back time and time again, at the end of the day, he ended up doing 2 years at Rikers and never got a trial. You know what I'm saying? Now regardless if someone in that situation did do it or what have you, they should at least get a trial or what have you. Of course, his moms didn't have the money, you know, to put up the bail to keep him out of jail or what have you. But you know, so he had to do the 2 years in jail. And then of course, you know, when you're at Rikers, I mean, let's be for real. Rikers is, you know, notorious. It has the reputation just about of Alcatraz, so to speak. And you know, with that being said, you know, the brother ended up committing suicide because of the stuff that, you know, the prison industrial complex that he basically had, you know, when he was locked up before, and he came home, and you know, he had to deal with a lot of the anguish of that, you know, so to speak. So listen, we're going to come back and talk more about white privilege and things of that nature right after these breaks. You are listening to Confessions with Brian T. Bethea on WJHM 102jams.com. We are going to commercial break. We're going to talk more about white privilege and some other stuff going on in regards to that. We'll be back after these messages to pay some bills, y'all. Peace, family.
Over 40 years, Lighthouse Central Florida has provided education, independent life skills, and job training to thousands of Central Floridians who live with blindness or any degree of vision loss. Whether it's picking out clothes in the morning or just moving around your community in Orange, Seminole, and Osceola counties, contact Lighthouse Central Florida at 407-898-2483 or visit them online at lighthousecfl.org.
Peace, family. Again, this is Brian with Confessions with Brian T. Bethea. Don't want y'all to forget, also, I host a weekly open mic called Writer's Block. Who's next? Every Saturday, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Every Saturday at TNT Cafe. That's TEAND Cafe. Address 127 West Fairbanks Avenue in Winter Park. So again, Writer's Block at TNT Cafe, 127 West Fairbanks Avenue in Winter Park. Peace, y'all.
The Tiberius Show would like to thank one of their dedicated sponsors, Custom Designs Orlando. These guys are on Mills Avenue and do all sorts of stuff, ranging from photo ID badges, engraved signs, custom braille ADA signs, vinyl lettering to trophies and awards. The cool part about Custom Designs is they can ship products all over the United States. You can reach them at 407-898-0373 and tell them that
Tiberius
sent you.
Stop. Put that hammer down. If you are frustrated with your computer, we have a better way. Call Your Computer Solutions at 407-826-0810 and let one of our staff handle it for you. Again, our number is 407-826-0810, and we can work remotely or on-site to solve your computer issues. Use your computer hammer-free with Your Computer Solutions at 407-826-0810.
See David Smith Law.com. You can call him at 407-801-2667. Wait, you are not Chuck. My dad can help when people get hurt. He loves to help. If you are ever injured at work or in a car accident, you should call my friend Chuck. You can call them at 407-801-2667. That website again is cwsmithlaw.com.
Offices, Orlando.
Does it actually have that much W's? Aw, Dad, my computer's slow again and I can't play my games.
Call Your Computer Solutions today, and we will scan for viruses and clean that computer up remotely and make it fast again. Our phone number is 407-826-0810.
Thanks, Dad. My computer's fast again. Now I can do my homework. Thanks for calling Your Computer Solutions at 407-826-0810.
All right, family. Once again, we are back with Confessions with Brian T. Bethea on WJHM 102jams.com. Listen, all right, we are back talking about the subject of white privilege or what have you. And so we have, as you heard me in the last segment, describe what racism is. And so we are about to basically describe what white privilege is and get into the meat of the discussion. So again, based on what I'm reading off of the website tolerance.org, says white privilege is perhaps most notably in this era of civil discourse, a concept that has fallen victim to its own connotations. The two-word term packs a double whammy that inspires pushback. For instance, number one, the word white creates discomfort among those who are not used to being defined or described by their race. And two, the word privilege, especially for poor and rural white people, sounds like a word that doesn't belong to them, like a word that suggests they have never struggled or what have you. You know what I'm saying? So we do have to break that down. So I've had this discussion as well. To a white person that has come from a poor economic background, how do you explain to them that white privilege does exist? You know what I'm saying? If you're a person that believes it does. Now, you can be a white person that believes that white privilege does exist, and you can be a black person that believes the same thing, and a Hispanic person believes the same thing as well. And I have heard white people, for instance, Chelsea Handler, who's been open about, quote unquote, using her privilege to help better things as a white person, or what have you, which I'd like to see that, you know what I'm saying? For those that admit that it does exist, if you can, in some way, form, or fashion, definitely, use your privilege to help, better and make things better for everyone else that is not white or what have you. But I have this discussion sometimes. How do you explain to someone who's a poor white person that white privilege does exist or what have you? You know what I'm saying? Because as far as they're concerned, I'm pretty much sure that they're looking at it from an economic standpoint, not from a racially motivated standpoint or what have you. You know what I'm saying? It's a hard topic for some of them to understand, but I put it to you like this, and a lot of times I've heard this analogy before because this is the actual analogy that was used or what have you. A few years ago, I'm generalizing now. I don't remember everything about it, so I'm generalizing right now. There was a poll that was taken where people were being asked if you had a chance to hire a white person that had been in jail or what have you, and a black person that had been in jail, both of them have a record, which person are you more likely to hire or what have you? And most of the people who vote, who were polled, picked that they would hire the white person over the black person. That's all that was said. They would. And that's all that was asked. Both of these people, one white, one black, had been to jail. Which one would you hire? And the majority of the people that were polled stated that they would vote for the white person. Is that an example that you feel like you can use to someone? Possibly so. But however, let's say like you have a white person that has been busting their behind or what have you. Let's flip this a little bit. Let's say you have a white person that's been busting their behind. You know what I'm saying? They come from the gutter, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Whether they were the only white person that lived in a black ghetto, or if they were from a the white ghetto or whatever, or the poor white side of town, and they did what they had to do legally. Let's do it legally, yeah, legally first to get to where they are. They scrub bathrooms, they waited tables, they saved their money or what have you, and now they're dealing with someone who is let's say they have like a co-worker or they run across somebody who's black or what have you, you know what I'm saying, and whose life experience has been different. People have looked at their person or society has looked at that person or what have you as a as a person that is a criminal, a thug or what have you, despite the fact that he might be he might have had a 4.0 grade. He or she might have had a 4.0 grade point average in high school and or college. Or let's say the person has a degree. Person has a degree. Person that maybe has a master's degree, graduated top of their class or what have you. And but can't get a job. Or anything like that. Now, you take the same, white person or what have you that I just talked about, busting their behind or what have you, and and gets to the point and gets the job that the brother or the sister that was applying for the same job that graduated with honors or what have you. Let's say they got that job and only had a high school diploma or what have you, didn't go to college, or let's say like that person went to college but didn't graduate top of their class or what have you. Is that white privilege? Possibly, or does that pertain to the situation or the need at hand? The reason why I asked that question is because I think we have been geared so much to believe in the notion of racism and white privilege, and believe you me, there are people out there who believe and know that they are privileged and use their white privilege to their advantage as much as possible. We've been led to believe that this thing happens to exist. So then, what happens? Because now that black person that was up for the job now gets dejected and discouraged. And of course, as we have been led to believe over the past 400 to 500 years of America being in existence, and I say 500, if you want to add on just about like the colonies or what have you, during the 1500s, early 1600s, I guess. We have to look at certain things about what has been taken from us, and that's what we've been led to believe. So our life experiences and what a lot of us have gone through have actually, put us in a mindset that even though this white person who had, let's say that this one white person that has no racism bias in their bones, or at least not in their mentality or what have you, and we believe that he has possibly getting this job, he or she has probably gotten this job because of their race or what have you. It's a hard thing to swallow because we don't know. What I'm getting at is we don't know what everyone has gone through or what everyone's background particularly is. We have been led to believe that people want to we say that one race is better than another. Regardless, at the end of the day, yes, am I proud to be a black man? Absolutely. And which is funny because I can say that. I know. Does that mean I have black privilege because I say that? But if a white person say they're proud to be white, they're deemed as being racist or what have you. It's a discussion that probably needs to be had. And I know that what we have been taught, and from the examples that we have been given, if someone says that they are proud to be white, then that means they, 9 times out of 10, based on what we've learned from history in America and or what have you, anyone that has usually been said that they are proud to be white was usually racist. You know what I'm saying? So, and I know because I've been asked by white friends or white people that I've had this discussion with, like, why can't they say that they're proud to be white? You can say whatever you want to say, but I think it's, they don't want that connotation being deemed as racist, and but that's the description that I usually give, because that's what America has been built on racism and portraying that racism as existed. It's funny, and I think one of the best examples, if you happen to hear it, one of the best examples to probably use is describing white privilege. If you have a chance to listen to her poem, it's gone viral pretty much. There's a poet that I know by the name of Kyla Janae Racy. Kyla, forgive me if I messed up your last name. But she has a poem called White Privilege, and it's gone viral. And I suggest y'all go ahead and listen to that. If you can find it, it's on YouTube somewhere. I know it's up there. I can't believe I messed up Kyla's last name. Please don't call me out on that. But Kyla Janae Lacey, I'm sorry, that's what it is, Lacey. Definitely look her up. Check out her poem White Privilege, and check that out. You know what I'm saying, and see what you what you think about that. And that's another discussion or another topic. You know what I'm saying, in terms of how she breaks that down, which is dope. It's a dope poem. I'm not just saying that because I know her, but I'm just saying it because the piece is dope, and some things just need to be said or what have you. You know what I'm saying? So, but if I can explain it to someone who is someone who is white but from a poor economic background, it would be the car analogy I probably used earlier. You know what I'm saying? Or let's say, like, for instance, if I was to call. Perfect example. This is what happened. This is what happened to me when I was in college, and me and some of my brothers. First of all, I'm a member of Groove 5 Groove Social Fellowship Incorporated, and this happened when I was at Hampton and Hampton University. We were at my line brother's crib. We were at my line brother Andre's crib, and we, for some reason, had the cops called to his apartment or what have you. I don't know what happened. We weren't doing nothing wrong. Wasn't nothing going on. And then just a bunch of college dudes or what have you, just hanging out, chilling. And the cops came to our apartment. Came to Dre's apartment, and for whatever reason, they would not let us leave. And we're just like, why are you making us having to stay? We was going out somewhere. I forgot where we was going. If my brothers happen to be listening, if you remember that incident, definitely holler at me or what have you. But yeah, we were not being able to leave, and we were basically being held against our will. It was 2 white cops, one male, 1 female, and for God knows for whatever reason, we weren't allowed to leave, and we weren't doing anything. And as a matter of fact, I believe there was a couple yelling or what have you, or something like that. But there was more noise coming from one of the other apartments than there was ours. We were just sitting there chilling and minding our own business. Think we might, we was, of course, talking, laughing or what have you. Might have been watching TV or something like that. But we wasn't doing nothing wrong. But we were just made to stay there for like an hour. We were being pretty much held against our will. They would not let us leave or what have you. Does that happen? To white folks, probably so. I wouldn't doubt it. But are there instances where 9 times, if it was a group of black kids and a group of white kids, who's probably getting let go first? It should be based on character, but usually, unfortunately, that's not the case. Of course, I'm also going off of my own instances with the police that I personally had, and let me just say this, we have some very, very, very great police officers out there. Let me just say that. Now, I will say this: most of my contacts or what have you, not just contacts, but interactions with police have been with good police officers. They kept their cool. I kept mine, You know what I'm saying? And typical, hey, all right, have a nice day. You know, be safe or what have you. And then you had those guys that are like power struck or what have you. You know what I'm saying? And they try to intimidate you or what have you. And you know, those are the guys that that we want. You know, for them to like, yo, ease up. Like I know, you know, and I try to be as calm as possible with myself. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm also putting myself in the mindset or in the mind of probably that police officer. I don't know what he or she may have seen. You know what I'm saying? Being a cop is tough. I know that's a job that I don't want because you know I don't want to have to deal with some of the stuff that they see all the time. You know, and especially when you have cops, and I have friends that are cops, and they tell me some of the stuff that they've seen. You know, people, you know, gunshot wounds, blood all over everywhere. Stories about, domestic violence or what have you that they probably told me about. And it's not, it is not, some of the stuff that, you know, my friends who are cops have to deal with, it is not for the faint of heart. Not at all. Not some of the stuff that they've had to deal with. You know, you have to have a strong mind and a strong stomach to be one. You know, but at the same time, you know, I hope and I sympathize with that. And personally speaking, I think when it comes to police officers, they need to have something where a cop can go talk to somebody, a therapist or somebody, to go and talk to somebody about the stuff that they've seen and how to get through it. That's not normal. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I say that, and you know, and I know a lot of cops have been complaining in regards to what's going on out there. We want police reform and stuff like that. And yeah, I get it. And trust me, because I do know that person that you're pulling over, that person that's accused of a crime, you have to deal with them or what have you. And I get that in the standpoint of the day that you might have had dealing with being shot at or cursed at or screamed on or what have you, dealing with ignorant people. I get that, but on the flip side, you know, please understand that person that you're pulling over, you know, as well, they may have it worse than you do. You know, they may be, you know, you may have pulled over a woman that was, you know, that's in a domestic violence, in a domestic abuse relationship or what have you. And on top of that, maybe one of her kids might be on drugs or have ADHD, you know, not doing well in school, or you might have someone who's dealing with, you know, issues of mental issues with their children, who's going through divorce from both their parents. So, you know what I'm saying, or maybe somebody had a death in the family. They're dealing with that. You know, on the flip side, we understand y'all go through tough stuff, but that person that you are pulling over probably going through worse than you have. You know what I'm saying? So it's equal on both people. You know what I'm saying? To make sure that cooler heads prevail in that regard. You know, but it's funny, and I feel like with white privilege, a lot of white folks get to be seen in a way that black people are not allowed to. You know, that's just my personal experience and my personal belief or what have you. I understand if you disagree, that's perfectly fine, but when we come back from break, I would definitely give you an example as to why I believe that. You know, so you are listening to Confessions with Brian T. Bethea on WJHM 102jams.com. Stay tuned, family. We'll be right back after these commercial messages so we can go pay some bills and keep the lights on. We'll be right back after these messages, y'all. Peace.
When I'm driving, I'm listening to Confessions with Brian T. Bethea on 102 Jams.
All you dolls out there, this is me, Sizzle. 2019 flew by and my friend still did not have the body she wanted. Then I discovered the solution. The cosmetic surgery place. Yes, cosmetic surgery. Don't spend another minute miserable. Call 407-636-5000. She did. Now my friend is all of that and then some.
Be one of the next 7 callers to receive your breast surgery. Free with a tummy tuck. Yes, free. Call now at 407-636-5000.
Oak Ridge Gun Range is a family-oriented shooting range that has been in business for over 30 years. They specialize in basic firearm training and offer numerous services such as consignments, gun trades, gunsmithing, and concealed weapon classes. I even got my training for gun safety at Oak Ridge Gun Range. Great customer service. And firearm safety is what they do best. So find out more at oakridgegunrange.com. The Tri-Beer Show would like to thank Boggy Creek Airboat Adventures for being one of our sponsors. I got to go on an airboat and saw a real gator. I even got to go to the gem mine and mine for some gems. We ate a steak dinner at the restaurant and even got some gator bites. If you want to have a blast with the entire family, I suggest you go to www.bcairboats.com right now to get your tickets today. The website again is bcairboats.com. Aw, Dad, my computer's slow again and I can't play my games.
Call Your Computer Solutions today and we will scan for viruses and clean that computer up remotely and make it fast again. Our phone number is 407-826-0810.
Thanks, Dad. My computer's fast again. Now I can do my homework. Thanks for calling Your Computer Solutions at 407-826-0810. Mid-State Fire has been providing top-quality fire equipment services for 3 generations to the Central Florida area. Don't wait for an emergency to repair. Call Mid-State Fire today at 407-246-8855. Get your fire extinguishers and emergency lighting for both your home and businesses by visiting www.midstatefire.com. That number again is 407-246-8855. The Tri-Beer Show would like to thank one of our dedicated sponsors, Custom Designs Orlando. These guys are on Mills Avenue and do all sorts of stuff, ranging from photo ID badges, engraved signs, custom Braille ADA signs, vinyl lettering, to trophies and awards. They can ship products all over the United States. You can reach them at 407-898-0373.
All right, family. Once again, we are back with Confessions with Brian T. Bethea on WJHM 102jams.com. Listen, all right, as I was discussing before the break, yes, yeah, I feel like, me personally, that a lot of times white folks get the chance to be, and I'm gonna say this as in a way, in a manner that I don't mean to come off as being rude or what have you, but it's just based on what my personal experience. So in that regard, you know, if a group of let's say that, for example, I was in again when I was in school at Hampton for instance, I think over at Coliseum Mall, if I'm not mistaken, at that time they had a rule that you could not be more than 3 people in a group or what have you. You know, for you know, whatever reason. I think maybe they might have had some trouble dealing with some kids or what have you. And you know, unfortunately, if you were in a group of more than 3 people or something like that, then you had to disperse, you know, go your separate ways or what have you. Y'all could not be, if y'all had a group of 10, y'all all couldn't be together. You know what I'm saying? Because you'd be seen a certain way. I've never seen I'm gonna say it like this. I've never seen a group of white folks be forced to be moved, unless it was an unruly crowd. Yeah, get it. I get it. But just, you know, white kids hanging out at the mall, what have you. I've never seen that, you know, where they've been forced to split up or move or what have you. You know, and even with, you know, it's, and I've had this talk, and a lot of it, yes, a lot of it probably is the media, the way the media portrays things. Like, for instance, Hurricane Katrina, you know, was happening when you had the difference between, first of all, both races of people, both looting the stores or what have you, or taking stuff from the store, stuff that they needed. And the black people were described as being like thugs or looters or what have you. And the white folks were described as being something completely different, but not in the same light as the black people were. So I think, you know, a lot of the times what's being done, and a lot of this is, I have to say it probably like this, a lot of times, a lot of the media, you know, emphasizes a lot of the biases that people already have, probably each other, which has forced this situation of white privilege to come about, or what have you. I suggested that, everyone, of course, definitely take a look at yourselves, or what have you. And if you have a bias against someone of another race, then you probably have, I don't say you probably, you have to deal with that, to see how you can get rid of that particular bias. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm telling y'all right now, y'all are probably missing out on some really dope, friendships with people of someone of another race or another race particularly, because of a simple bias that you may have. And the people that you think are going to, rob you or do something wrong to you, and probably more so someone from your own race, or someone probably of your own race is already doing it, but making you believe that it's someone from, somebody who's black or someone who's, Hispanic or what have you. You know what I'm saying? I think we have to be mindful because, you're being played upon for your own, based on your own biases or what have you. You know what I'm saying? And which is why I think, Trump supporters have been, very, very, very strong or what have you. You know what I'm saying? Because, and he's been playing into the based on a lot of stuff that he said, he's been playing into the areas where, people have already had those biases against black people, against Latinos, or what have you. And, that's what's happening. I suggest, when y'all get a chance, read up on, and actually learn about Bacon's Rebellion, if you get a chance. And Tim Wise, if you know who Tim Wise is, I like to call him, I guess I don't know his exact, career title or what have you, or what, but I like to call him like a white civil, either civil rights activist, I guess, who just so happens to be white. He's just one of those white folks that's definitely woke and is, speaking the truth out there on a lot of stuff. But I remember he was the one, I believe, re-emphasized something that I've kind of already learned about in school with Bacon's Rebellion, where basically what happened, before slavery actually started in America, we were in a system of indentured servitude. So let's go back to school real quick. So if you remember learning about indentured servitude, basically how that worked, you worked, there were black and poor whites and poor blacks who basically worked the fields based on, the textbooks that, we had been learning, and we had learned from in school. That's the way they explained it. Poor whites and poor blacks who were, working the fields, the plantations, and doing the work for, the apparently upper class white folks that were in the colonies back in the day. And of course, they had to give like a portion of whatever their harvest to the landowner or what have you. And but the conditions that a lot of these people were in were some of the slums. Basically, they were in slum conditions or what have you. And so we had the blacks and the poor whites and poor blacks basically go to the landowners or what have you and ask for better living conditions, better pay, or what have you. And basically, it got flipped around. I can't remember who was exactly. I think it was Nathaniel. I think it's Nathaniel Bacon. I think is his name. I can't remember exactly. But basically, what happened is it got flipped to where it was made to believe that the poor white folks were better than the poor black folks, and they were made the overseers, which is where you get the overseers from on the plantations during slavery. And this is how in the way that American slavery basically got started, or what have you. And so ever since then, we've had these biases, black against white, or what have you, and and being able to make decisions like that, is what's happening. Now, granted, also, we have the prison industrial complex is involved in this as well. They know how many prisons that they need to build based on the test scores and the academic achievements of black and Latino kids by the third grade. If you don't believe me, look that up. This is how they know how many prisons to build. And, all this is built in a system where no matter, sometimes no matter how much you achieve as a black person, and I don't want to sound victim or what have you, but this is no matter how much you achieve, you can still be knocked down, or people will try to knock you down if they can. This is why we have to build up our communities or what have you, so that we can, have the necessary resources that we need to keep strong communities. But listen, we are going to be right back after these commercial breaks. Again, you're listening to Confessions with Brian T. Bethea on WJHM 102jams.com. We'll be back, y'all. Peace.
Over 40 years, Lighthouse Central Florida has provided education, independent life skills, and job training to thousands of Central Floridians who live with blindness or any degree of vision loss. Whether it's picking out clothes in the morning or just moving around your community and serving Orange, Seminole, and Osceola counties, contact Lighthouse Central Florida at 407-898-2483 or visit them online at lighthousecfl.org. Aw, Dad, my computer's slow again and I can't play my games.
Call Your Computer Solutions today, and we will scan for viruses and clean that computer up remotely and make it fast again. Our phone number is 407-826-0810.
Thanks, Dad. My computer's fast again. Now I can do my homework. Thanks for calling Your Computer Solutions at 407-826-0810. Hi, my name is Tiberius Boy. I work with Your Computer Solutions. If your computer is not working, my dad can fix it. He can fix it on-site or remotely. Just call him at 407-826-0810 and tell him Tiberius sent you. That's me. That phone number again is 407-826-0810.
Hey guys, this is TC1, and when I stay in Orlando, I like to stay at the Quality Suites over on International Drive. They are amazing properties, simple rooms in an all-suite hotel with outdoor pool, a restaurant, plus free Wi-Fi and shuttle. Guys, give them a call at 407-363-0332. They're located at 7400 Canada Ave, Orlando, Florida, 32819.
Peace, family. Again, this is Brian with Confessions with Brian T. Bethea. Don't want y'all to forget, also, I host a weekly open mic called Writer's Block. Who's next? Every Saturday, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Every Saturday at TNT Cafe. That's TEAAND TEA Cafe. Address 127 West Fairbanks Avenue in Winter Park. So again, Writer's Block at TNT Cafe, 127 West Fairbanks Avenue in Winter Park. Peace, y'all.
All you dolls out there, this is me, Sizzle. 2019 flew by and my friend still did not have the body she wanted. Then I discovered the solution. The cosmetic surgery place. Yes, cosmetic surgery. Don't spend another minute miserable. Call 407-636-5000. She did. Now my friend is all of that and then some.
Be one of the next 7 callers to receive your breast surgery free with a tummy tuck. Yes, free. Call now, 407-636-5000.
This is Aretha Simons. When I'm driving, I'm listening to Confessions with Brian T. Bethea on 102 Jams.
All right, family, we are back. Of course, this is Confessions with Brian T. Bethea on WJHM.
This is Aretha Simons. When I'm driving, I'm listening to Confessions with Brian T. Bethea on 102 Jams.
All right, family, once again, we are back with Confessions with Brian T. Bethea on WJHM 102jams.com. Of course, we have been talking about white privilege. Definitely, family, when you get a chance, please, by all means, definitely have this discussion with your friends, with your family members as well. And, and have this, particularly if you have someone that is of another race, definitely have this discussion with them. These are discussion, family. Discussion, not argument. Not y'all be like in calling all y'all, man, you stupid for believing in that. No, because nothing gets solved because of that discussion, family. But listen, go ahead. We appreciate y'all listening to me this week. So definitely, family, follow me on my social media, of course, on Instagram and Twitter at The Phoenix 516 at Twitter and Instagram. Once again, that's The Phoenix 516, spelled the regular way, ThePhoenix 516 at Instagram and Twitter. Definitely follow me on the Facebook pages for the podcast. It's Confessions with Brian T. Bethea, and for my regular Brian T. Bethea Confessions. To make it easier, that's my public figure page. Definitely like and subscribe to that as well. And subscribe to my YouTube channel. I need more subscribers. Definitely Brian Bethea on YouTube. Definitely follow me on there as well, please. I would greatly appreciate it. And definitely follow me on my website, Reverb Nation, www.reverbnation.com/Brian T. Bethea. My last name is spelled Bethea. Definitely follow me on there. I don't think I have any more social media right now. But definitely, family, we want to definitely follow me on there and follow what I'm doing with the show. I got some other stuff popping off as well. Definitely, what we also got going is I've got the TV show, Daddy, We're Back. I'm a cast member on there playing Dr. Michaels. We'll let y'all know what's happening with that. And I want to say when it's coming out, but I can't tell you just yet. But definitely, I'll let you know when that's dropping online. If possible, it's called Daddy, We're Back. Finished the season a couple of weeks ago before the season officially, first season officially airs. I'll let you know when and where and what time or what have you. So definitely, family, I'm trying to make sure I haven't forgotten anything else. But definitely download the app on your Android, WJHN102jams.com, exactly how I said it. That's the app, exactly how I said it, WJHN102jams.com. That's exactly how I said it. And listen, family, if you want to be a sponsor for Confessions, definitely holler at us, and follow me on my social media and reach out to me there. You can find out how to be a sponsor for Confessions with Brian T. Bethea. It's been a pleasure, y'all. Listen, see y'all next week. Have this discussion with your family. Again, you've been listening to WJHM102jams.com with Confessions with Brian T. Bethea. Catch y'all next time, family. I'm out. Y'all be safe. Peace.
Are you frustrated with...
Interesting. I like your argument.
Appreciate it.
I don't agree with all of it, but I do like your argument.